Out again. This one is not going to run away to the boundary. This is a good shot by second point and short third man. And this is a good cricket.
This one was a little short, and he gave himself room and played it through. So he's and now 15 without loss. This is the bold.
Right, 2 over for Rommel. Speaking there. As we go into 7.5, and here we go. That's a diamond delivery. And as if that is loose. Hodge has been good so far. Just enough now, and the fielders seem to already be under some pressure. They look as if they're fumbling.
They don't need to be under pressure.
Well, here is I make it as if who, well, square leg, midwick, boundary, whichever you want to call it, and he gets a national lottery one for without loss. Mikey, a loose delivery dealt with.
And you can't bowl that sort of ball to Hooper because he favors the leg side. He's very powerful.
And he goes into that area. This time he's going to get the fielder. He is looking for 2. Another fumble. Here we go. He gets up quickly. He's ready for the business again. And he looks as if he's a man about business.
They're running the singles very quickly. They got 2 from that throw. Hooper is probably not as quick as he wants to be, so he had to dive to save the run. The man is deep on the boundary, and you played that shot, so it would have given us a slow start. But at the same time, they're young and fit, and so they're doing the right thing. They're taking the balls when they come along.
This one is hitting as if make any contact. A diamond delivery of the end of over number 3. Some adjustments to the field. The mid-wicket coming on the point boundary. It goes all the way out. Long off, gets 1. Shem was looking for a second. That's the end of over. Give your thoughts at this stage as it relates to the approach of the batsmen.
They have the right approach between the wickets. That last delivery should have been 2 runs. But clearly, if Hooper drives mark, he's got to step this up. That Brown was ready for 2. He had already turned slow and getting back to his crease and turning. And they need to actually Hooper at this stage.
The last 2 overs each as all Otney Lewis comes in for a second.
He has the penchant of hitting to the leg side, and he would have been hitting against the natural turn of the off spin. Yes, the ball is new, But we have seen thus far that the bowlers are slowing it up a bit. The wicket is slow. So unless you time it perfectly well, you stand a very good chance of giving a catch, which Asif just did. So, well, he's back in the hut now. Theophil is out. A lot will depend on him being the overseas pro, as we call it. I know Dean Brown, for one, he would continue. He will continue play his shots. Sorry, Shem Brown. He will continue play his shots regardless of how many wickets fall. But they have to consolidate, but consolidate smartly. Not in the sense that they're going to bat dot balls, get the singles, as Mike has said previously, and get some confidence.
Lewis to Brown. Brown is struck on the pad. The umpire is asked a question. He answers in the affirmative. 2 in 2 for Otney Lewis. The openers are gone, Mikey.
Brown played a little casual to that shot. He played the right stroke, mind you, but he was a little casual in his approach, and that's why he missed the ball. Not sure why he was trying to force the pace as such. He had just hit a good shot down to the mid-off, and 10 runs off 8 deliveries isn't bad at the start of your innings. He had lost Hooper in the previous over, and that should have made him think that, listen, I've got to tighten up. I can't be too casual, and this is what is affecting the progress of the cricket. I'm not sure how soon we get this across, but all the plans they make in the dressing room, I'm sure they are talking about remaining there, batting in pairs, picking the right balls to hit your shot selection. But when they get in the middle, they're on their own, and their minds operate differently totally.
Wayne Harper joins Tyrone Theophil. I know our friends in Dominica, Gavin at DBS will be following. Shouting you guys up as a diamond delivery has been delivered again by Otney Lewis. The opening bowlers are doing quite well in this power play. I'm sure if you ask them to give them the team 30 runs with 3 wickets, they would have taken that. Lewis comes again to Harper, off the edge, just short of the man. That's the widest short third man. Didn't get a run. Bowlers do doing well here for Soufriere Hikers. Lewis again to Harper. And they're looking for a quick single. They decided against it. One delivery, I make it in over number 4. Power play just on the edge of being completed. And only 24 runs on the board. Harper drives back to Lewis, who could not hold on. He would have been running around the park if he held on to that one. But a very good power play period for the Soufriere Hikers, Romel Currency.
Excellent power play for the Soufriere Hikers indeed. This being a knockout game, the Soufriere Hikers, the Grenadine divers really, they have to do something different. Being 24 for 2, I saw Harper, when he came in, yes, he had just come into the wicket, but this is 10-10 cricket. There's very little time for you to consolidate. If you want to consolidate, you have to consolidate by getting singles and watching from the other end, basically. I think he did the right thing at the very last ball. He gave himself room. The bowler in Otney Lewis, his line and length were predictable. So it's incumbent upon each batsman, yes, you have 2 balls to figure out what the bowler is doing, but then you have to adjust accordingly. Yeah? Because you do not have the luxury of batting dot balls after dot balls. We have seen thus far in the tournament that teams have been batting lots and lots of dot balls.
Benton Stapleton. And he's a nippy little customer. And this one is a little short and played down to long on. A single to Wayne Harper. It will be interesting to note how many dot deliveries were bowled in that power play period, if our statisticians around the ground could help us. But a bit too many diamond deliveries. 13 diamond deliveries in 24 balls, from 24 balls. Wow. This one is not going to be a diamond delivery. This is a smashing shot by Tyrone Theophile in the slot, and he made use of it. That went for a super smashing 6, Mikey.
Yes, you've got to take total advantage of deliveries that are about loose. And when I say loose, this one wasn't a loose delivery in terms of looseness. It was just over-pitched. And, we call those loose deliveries in cricket. It was over-pitched. It was a half volley. And he really struck it well.
This one is a better delivery, but equal to the task in terms of still getting a run is Theophile. And they're playing sensibly at this stage. Some words of advice coming to Stapleton as the score moves on to 33-4-2.
It's interesting. I just got a comment there from my friend Lyndon George, a lawyer. He's a cricket fanatic. He's saying that his show diver is going to make 140.
Well, 140 from here would be a tremendous score, as Wayne Harper did not connect another diamond delivery from the Soufriere hikers, and they are piling up. I make it about 15 now in the innings, and we are just about, just past 4.5 overs. Stapleton to Harper. Again, beaten outside the off stump. What is Harper not doing right here, Mikey?
Well, he missed those things. It wasn't that he was beaten. He missed the shot. He went for a cut shot. But he's not getting close enough to the ball. He's staying at his stance and just throwing the bat at it. He's got to move towards the ball. He's got to get closer to the ball. Whenever the ball is outside the off stump, he's got to go across his wickets to execute the cut shot.
This one, he went into the wicket and tugged it past the man at short. Fine leg into the boundary for National Lotteries 3D4 to end over number 5 at 37-4-2. 140 Romel and Mikey, I'm not sure.
Yes, well, he went into his wicket for that one, and he pulled it down to on the leg side. But in the same way, if the ball is a little wide of the off stump, he's got to get into his wicket, get closer to the ball, and play a cut shot or whatever shot he wants to play.
Romel, your friend's view from here, the Grenadine Divers will have to score 103 runs in 5 overs.
He just sent me a WhatsApp message saying that he sent it when Asif had just come into the wicket. But I think he would have changed his view now, isn't it? I certainly don't think that he expects the hikers to reach up to, not the hikers, the divers to reach up to 140.
Jeremy Hayward into the attack. And Theophile is hammering this one. One bounce just in front of Otney Lewis. Lewis is thinking, listen, I should have gone a little quicker to that one. May have taken a catch. But 1 to the total. It's 38-4-2. The Grenadine Divers struggling at this stage to get a big total on the tins. Harper again going into his wicket, trying to heave, but only getting it to trickle out just across the umpire at square leg, Maria Abbott, and she has as her partner Golden Graves, stalwart cricket umpire from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Theophile is pulling this one away, short there by Hayward, gets a single. 40. Romel, would these singles be enough?
Well, we saw in the previous game that the team batting
going down to the mid-wicket area, another fumble, and they're looking for 2. They complete 2 eventually. Romel, your thoughts?
Yes, I was saying that in the previous game, the game played this morning, we saw that the team batting second was struggling to even get up to 80. So you never know. It is a glorious game. It's a game of glorious uncertainties, as they say. So 80 runs might be a good enough total for the Grenadine Divers. I don't know, but they'll be looking to get much more than that as long as Theophile stays at the wicket.
Jeremy Hayward to Harper. Harper advances again, favouring the onside and just in front of square. He gets another single. They trickle up to 43 for 2 with one delivery remaining in over number 6. Theophile comes back into strike. And this one was wider and did not get much onto it, following through and fielding is Hayward. 6 overs are gone. The score is 43 for 2. Mikey, give us your comment.
Well, it is still early. They need to increase the scoring rate. It's only 7.17 per over, and they need to get more than that if they're going to take the score beyond 100. But you mentioned a while ago of veteran umpire Roland Graves. Reminded me that we lost one of our veteran umpires, an umpiring administrator, Gary White, here earlier this month or late last month, and he'll be buried on the 2nd of October at 2 p.m. at the St. George's Cathedral. Gary was president of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Cricket Umpire Association for a long time. His trademark was he wore his watch around his hands, not on his wrist. But he really gave some good service to cricket umpiring in St. Vincent.
Yes, he did, and here trying to give some good service to the Grenadine Divers is Wayne Harper. Previously, he struck one onto the 9 Mornings Festival board. That was a 3D, National Lottery 3D4. Currency will give us some ideas of 9 Mornings. I know you love that activity. I see you there quite often, but we'll talk about that after the game. Dylan Douglas has ball in hand. This is ball number 3 of over number 7. It's a wide, loose delivery here, trying a quicker one to Theophile. 49 for 2. Douglas tries again. And this is a good delivery. Cramping Theophile for a room. An excellent running, I make it here by the 2. And this could come into vital importance later on in the second half of this game, depending on the total they get, Romel.
Yeah, they were looking to take advantage of the bowling of Dylan Douglas, but I was watching him close. He seems to be bowling leg breaks as well. He's mixing it up nicely, but they'll still look to take advantage. I know Theophile very well.
Hammering it into the cow corner area. Another fumble. We've not seen so many of these fumbles. I tell you, the team in red and blue definitely under some pressure, but they shouldn't, because at this stage at 52 for 2 with 2 deliveries remaining in over number 7, they would have been pleased if they were given this score at that stage in the dressing room. Another wide delivery here by Douglas. Yes, he's trying to mix them up, but still needs to have that control, because those 2 wides could go the distance when the legitimate ball is bowled. And this is Theophile attempting to do that, only as far as Otney Lewis on the deep mid-wicket boundary. Another single. 53 for 2. Theophile 12, Harper 15. Douglas comes again. This one is smashed. Is it gone? Yes, it looks like it's gone all the way, just in front of the Soufriere stand. Theophile, as we said earlier, taking advantage of one of those extra deliveries, and he put it away. It's now 60 for 2 after 7.
Yes, so much needed impetus here being put into the innings of the Grenadine divers. Roxley mentioned 9 mornings. What a wonderful time, ain't it? Around Christmas time. I think you'll be best placed to explain what it is about. I know normally when we go to 9 mornings, it's 9 mornings just before Christmas, ending on the 24th of December. It's something indigenous to St. Vincent, I would like to believe, where you have singing and dancing in the wee mornings, in the early mornings of each day. So it's lots of fun, you know. People really should come out to experience what we experience, folk singing, challenges, beautiful here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines around Christmas time.
Yes, Hayward to Harper. Harper is looking to smash something on the onside. That was short. He could have played that on the onside and probably got more value for it, Mikey. But it's Hayward again. This time he goes on to the onside. He offers a catch up. A lovely catch taken. Who is that? We got to get the name. Kevin Hodges, showing his experience, showing his quality. That's a really, really good catch. A good bit of ground he had to make up there. And guess what? Another wicket falls, Mikey.
That's why they're trying to push it on now. And he went for a shot in the covers. It was too much in the air. He hadn't got to the pitch of the ball. He wasn't over the delivery. And he played it in the air, and it was a good catch, a very good catch taken. So in always, if you attempt to increase the rate of scoring, you expose yourself to making these errors, and that's what happened. But 60 for 3, 7.2 overs bowled, not very many overs remaining. Can they get to? They certainly can't get to the 140 that your friend thought of Romel, but they should get to 100. And the last game, 110 was the target because the team made 109, and they could very well get to that, 110, 120.
Setting up to be an excellent game, albeit the score look a little small at this stage, as Theophile goes long down to long on, gets a single. He's joined by Kader Ned, and these two men are very powerful, strongly built. Yes, Romel, 9 mornings, so we may have some of that action soon. I heard an ad about it earlier this week. We get out at 3 a.m., finishes at about 7 a.m., and then you get to work, Romel, for 8 a.m.
That's right. Have fun before you work.
Yeah, Mikey had a lot of those in his days.
No, my sleep is always precious to me. I try to get my 8 hours of sleep.
Hayward to Ned. Ned is trying to heave this one away, not making contact. A diamond delivery by Hayward. Not as tight as he normally bowls, but still getting those deliveries through. This one is short, and this is going to be hitting one and into the boundary for 4. That's a National Lottery's 3D4, and it bounced once. A valiant effort, let's put it that way, by Otney Lewis, but he could not prevent it from crossing the line.
A good shot by Ned. He's always going to look to play that shot. He's a teacher by profession, but when it comes to cricket, he's a hiker, a chopper by profession, because he hikes them on to the leg side so very easily, regardless of where the ball is going.
This one he's trying to do the same, but not making contact, ending with a dot delivery, a diamond delivery. 65 for 3, Mikey, with 2 overs to come.
Yes, so it's a disappointing total. I can't see them getting so many in 2 overs that will take them to 100, just over 100. So it's a disappointing score. But it is score on the board, as I always say, and the sometimes, you know, the team that feels second, always feel we can get this team out for under our score. So let us go at it, guys. But Roxelle, you asked about the 9 mornings. In my day, when I grew up, 9 mornings was so much different to what it is now. We did more walking about, and the ladies window shopped, and the guys chatted about the place and limed about the place, and there are a lot of cyclists with their bikes decorated riding about Kingstown, and some people were just going home after caroling and so on and so forth. It's not as hectic as it is now. I imagine that when Romel gets to work the next morning after the first morning of 9 morning, he will be using toothpicks to keep his eyes open. But a lot different now.
Let's see if there's anything different from Benton Stapleton. To Tearfield, this is Kide. The keeper goes under it. Is he going to take the catch? Yes, he does. Another brilliant catch. This time by the wicket keeper, Anson Latchman. And there goes Tearfield. Another big breakthrough. And they're not letting up here the Soufriere Hikers. They're taking wickets regularly and stemming the flow of runs even more, Romel.
Yeah, that was really a big blow there for been dished out by the Soufriere Hikers. Tyrone Tearfield, they would have wanted him to push on. He was 19 from 10. He was 18 from 10 at the time. Well, 19 from 9 at the time he got out. So he was the man they were looking to, given his experience and given his prowess as a batsman to push on. But the Soufriere Hikers will be extremely happy. They're in my opinion, they have the upper hand going into these last 2 overs. So good catch by Ansel Latsman as seen on the review. So yeah, 65 actually. The Grenadine Divers would have fancied themselves in a much better position at the start of the innings.
Well, they are going to have to push and to get up to at least 100. Psychologically, those 3 figures mean a lot. Kevin Abraham has joined the net. Still 2 useful batsmen here for the Grenadine Divers, scoring at just under 8 runs and over. Here we go, Stapleton to Ned. This is down the leg side, signal wide very early by umpire Maria Abbott. And so the single added to the Grenadine Divers, 66 for 4. As you can see, those beautiful shots there on your screens. An aerial view of where the cricket action is taking place. Stapleton again. To Ned. Hammers behind square. Gets 1 and they're looking for a second. That's not available. And although the running has been good, fielders have been also attempting to complete their jobs as efficiently as the batsmen who are running between the wicket. A bigger crowd today, a nice little crowd. We also have some spectators in the President's Suite, some officials, I make it.
Well, it is a work day, Roxelle, so I expect a much larger crowd on the weekend, but people have been tuning in.
And tuning in here is Kevin Abraham. He is welcoming the people in the President's Suite by hitting one over that area. That's gone for a smashing Super 6, Mikey.
Much too short to be a good ball, and he was on to it in a flash. Took it way over the stand. So they're able to pick up their boundaries when they get the loose balls. But it's a matter of now being a little too late, and there we see some big wig officials in the President's Suite enjoying the cricket, and that's good. And they're sprinkling of people in the other stands. On weekends, we certainly get many more people, and you'll have a good crowd in terms of the game, and given the COVID situation, you'll get very many more people on Sunday in the final. And you know, people always ask, well, what happened to the days when they used to pack Arnos Vale for a cricket match, whether it's a local game or a regional game? This is a novelty, the 10-10, but you know, when I examine it closely, a lot of the die-hard cricket fans have either passed away or have grown too old to come and sit in the stands for an entire day. And the younger people are more interested in having a good time with music and all that than coming to watch cricket. I remember I was coming home from Dubai once, and I landed, West Indies was playing a game here, and I came, the airport was still at Arnos, right behind us here, and I took...
Abraham goes again, this time one bounce into the backward square boundary. Abraham 6-4, and this is a different ball, Mikey. He precipitated a replacement ball.
Yes. But a loose delivery. So I was saying that, so as I came down, I said, I'll go straight down to Arnosville to see what's happening. By the time the plane landed, the match, and I cleared customs and immigration, the match has just about ended. Well, I'm coming down the stretch, Arnosville stretch now, and people were coming out. So I said to a guy, hey, what happened? What is the resulting match? The guy said to me, what are you talking about? He was obviously in the party stand. He didn't pay attention at all to what's happening on the field.
This one is wide outside the off stump. Stapleton is trying to change his line, but not in the legitimate line that he should be bowling. Mikey, you talked about big wigs. I guess that's where you should be. I'm
a small person, you know. Come on. You watch me, you can't call me big.
Trying to push their score on here. The Grenadine Divers, 78 for 4. Another wide. Stapleton is struggling. Has Abraham hit him off of his line and length there? Currently, this happens to young and inexperienced bowlers quite often.
Yeah, Stapleton really has lost the plot. He has gotten rather erratic with his bowling. He came, initially you would think that a bouncer to a new batsman would be a good delivery. But at his pace, it wouldn't really be the ideal delivery as...
Another wide. The score trickles up to 80. Is it? Yes, 80 with 2 deliveries remaining over number 9. Yeah, a competitive score still coming up here?
Yeah, definitely a competitive score. The captain of the Soufriere, he needs to have a word with Abraham. He really does. Because he's going to 27 of 1.4 overs. This is the penultimate over. You would want to not... Yeah, this is the penultimate over, yes. So you would expect that the best bowler would be bowling at this end.
Abraham, he advances and hits it back over the bowler's head. 2 is the call. 2 they get really well as they pressed hard there. They move to 82 and 100 can still be on the cards, Mikey.
Well, they've got what? Just an over remaining. I doubt they can get that. The bowling is pretty all right. Once they attack the line of the off stump but not put it too wide to get extras, they're going to be all right.
Stapleton comes for what should be his final delivery. And he struck down to long off, coming under it. It looks like Haywood. Does he take a catch? It looks as if he did. He's gone. Another tremendous catch. Excellent catch. And I'm being advised that's Maloney, Captain Maloney, leading from in front. We have had 3 magnificent catches in this innings, Romel.
Yeah, that was a very good catch by Maloney. You would expect that from a player like Maloney, given that he is a first-class player. But more than that, Roxell, even though they were able to get 2 wickets, they still conceded 17 runs. Yeah, and that can prove detrimental for them when they take their time at the wicket. Right, so it's 82 for 4, 82 for 5 now. They have a very good chance still of getting to 100 or close thereabouts. Ned is still at the wicket, a big hitter in the form of Oben McCoy. Whether or not he can come in and start to hit at the onset is left to be seen, but he is capable, in my estimation, of doing so. So, and a spinner is going to be bowling the very last over. He was taken to task, Douglas, in his very first over, getting 17 off it. Well, giving away 17 runs in his first over. So I know Ned, given his tendency to hoik the deliveries across the line, will be fancying the shorter, easier side of the boundary.
Well, here we go. Douglas and Ned. Ned is missing one outside the off stump. Umpire Graves says that this is outside of the red line. Signal. Douglas is not happy. To the total. It goes inside and swings this away. This is a big hit, a massive hit by Kadir Ned. 6 more to the total, 89 for 5, and 5 deliveries to go. Can Ned and the real McCoy, according to our can they get over 100 here? It goes again, but this time it goes back to with one hand, Mikey.
Yes, he must say, well, what he's trying.
Well, that was the been going regardless of what was offered.
Slingshot. Ned would have been aiming for that mid-wicket region. Hits you, or he gets out. And to speak about the arrogance of Douglas there, he is known to be quite the confident cricketer, Douglas. Yeah, but on hand, that really surprised me.
I tell you,
he did take the catch. That's important. He did
definitely. Entertainment with some really big shoulders comes. The bat looks like a toothpick in his hand. He heaves, trying to heave that one away. There's an appeal, and Brong is given out stumped. He did not affect a run. He did not disturb the scorers here. He saw he didn't conquer Mikey and Romero.
It was a good stumping because it bounced a bit and the keeper got it very cleanly and came down very quickly. But all batsmen think they're in the crease when they're stumped. Sometimes they don't realize and they're out to the crease. That happens all the time until they see a replay and realize, oh no, if the bowlers drift the ball down the leg side and the batsman is going to flick, invariably he'll come out of his crease. And the keeper could bring off a smart piece of stumping.
Romario Grant takes strike. And this one he plays back up. Douglas was looking to damage all 3 stumps, not break them. But the single was completed 9, and McCoy is on strike. Obed McCoy
will be looking to do. McCoy will be swinging. He was
McCoy is missing outside the off stump. Last man, did he take the bail off? He is, but McCoy stays in his crease. One delivery to come.
A beautifully bowled by Douglas. He slowed it up, allowed the ball to miss the bat.
Slowing this one up again and beating uply is Dylan Douglas. He finishes with figures of I make it 2 for 25, and the Grenadine Divers They have made 90 for 7. I'm not sure if that total is as beautiful as the view you're seeing on your screens now of the Arnosville Sporting Complex, the Arnosville area, and the bay here. Oh my word, beauty, beauty, beauty. You definitely got to be part and parcel of St. Vincent and Grenadines. Mikey, I know you'll agree with me. If you've never came to this part of the world, half of your life is gone.
More than half of your life is gone. If you haven't come to St. Vincent, you haven't lived. But it's really a beautiful country, and you appreciate it more if you go away for a while. When they play in banks to come in, you appreciate it so much more. And the other islands are beautiful. All these islands are beautiful. I saw some shots on the TV of St. Vincent, and I'm wondering, where's that boy? I can't believe that's St. Vincent.
90 for 7, Shem Brown 10, Asif Hooper 14, Tyrone Theophile 19, Wayne Harper 16, Kadir Ned 11, Kevin 12, Obeda Mako, the scorers, Romario Grant 1, and that's what they got in their 10 overs. They were asked to bat, and they got to 90 for 7. Romel, the bowling figures very quickly. Kavim Hodge, 2 overs, none for 14. Otney Lewis, 2 overs, 2 for 11. He was Jeremy Hayward, 1 for 11 from his 2 overs. And Dylan Douglas, 2 for 25. In eliminators 1, with a spot in eliminators tabs. Let's put it that way. 91 is the target for last.
Hikers should fancy themselves making that total. That goes without saying. They have to. If they playoffs. More than that, I thought the bowlers by and large in the power play, 24 for 2 in the first 4 overs, and only at just about 11 runs and overs. I think they did a fairly early on, bowled well. I believe Moses was excellent for stop. For the batting, did they never really got going at the wicket. For the good divers of the Grenadines to restrict for skiing.
Possible, because if game they'll lose the game. Some of that 2.0 by Dream 11, and we come the Antilles, and you heard all about that from Mike just now. St. Vincent Vibes brought to you with the kind compliments of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Cricket Association Lotteries fan code, VC3 Sportsmax, and of course our friends from ITFX SVG. We'll take a break and we come.
These divers, strikers, somebody celebrate your team. Team breakers, these type of breakers, Botanic Rangers. It's from the bleachers we would see. Stadium alive. This few explorers, the Grenadines divers, Portugal strikers. Somebody celebrate your team, Rangers. It's from the bleachers we will see. VPL is more flavor, more vibes. VPL that bring the stadium alive. VPL, this is the joy of we life. It's the Vincy Premier League. A few explorers, the Grenadines divers, Portugal strikers. Somebody celebrate your team. Last team breakers, the Stalpan breakers. But it's from the bleachers we will see. VPL is more flavor, more vibes. VPL that bring the stadium alive. VPL, this is the joy of we life. It's the Vincy Premier League.
Hills, mountains, high, high, high. Man, woman, shy, proud, Vincy, hands up high, and let me hear you say.
back to the Arnosville Sports Complex, and you were having some really lovely pictures there of the Grenadines and those yachts anchored in some of our really beautiful waters. But back here, the Grenadine divers, they would hope that their waters would be calm as they try to defend 90 in that they got in their batting innings, 91 the target, and here between these two teams, a victory would decide who will go into Eliminator 1, which will be the second match on our cards for Friday. Yes, Friday. Tomorrow is a day off, but McCoy comes into Brown. Salvan Brown getting a short rising delivery outside the off stump, and he did not make contact. That was through him quickly. McCoy looks as if he is ready for the party, Romel.
Yeah, I'm pleased that the Soufriere the Grenadine divers have opted to start with Obed McCoy rather than a spinner. He is an asset. I think he's a genuine wicket taker. So you need somebody like him to take the bull by its horn, so to speak. So I think this is a good attacking move. Well, they have since changed the field. I thought they were going to bowl bounces at Salvan. That's the way I know he's susceptible to those. He's a person, he's inclined to hooking.
This one is a little too wide, and Salvan Brown could not reach it. Umpire Graves says that's not a legitimate delivery. 1 to the total. Their target is now 90. Well, 90 to that one will give them victory, but they must get those runs within the remaining 9.5 overs.
Yeah, Obed has to adjust his line very, very quickly, because it's only a matter of time before Salvan gets hold of those short and wide deliveries. He has to line them up properly.
Salvan drives, the diving stop there. Looks like Abraham was in two minds in terms of whether he should pick it up with his hand. He sacrificed his body. This is what we do sometimes, Romel, to make sure that the better of the team comes at hand.
Yeah,
1 more to the total.
That was a good stop by Abraham. Shows a lot of commitment. He did well when he had his time to bat. He would have an important role to play here with the bowling his off spinners. He bowled well in the last game they played. So
Maloney comes in strike. Gets a short delivery and goes over the head of Maloney. Obed is looking at Maloney. He went halfway down the wicket while he is now being told by umpire Graves that's a short delivery for the over. It's also called wide. Some aggression being shown here by Obed. And Maloney and Salvan Brown, they will have to negotiate the rest of this over.
Yeah, you have to be aggressive as a fast bowler, and he has the pace in which to do so. You know, you need wickets. You get 1 or 2 wickets in the power play, things are going to slow down.
Well, they're attacking even further. Slip in place. This one is beating Maloney outside the off stump. He's not making contact. Similar start to the innings as we saw for Grenadine divers. Another diamond delivery. 3 without loss. They are in pursuit of 91. And if they do get there, they will be in Eliminator 1 on Friday afternoon. McCoy turns in the distance, just in front of us here at the commentary booth end. This one is outside the off stump again. Maloney moving not to the ball, leg away, bat in the direction and not making contact, Romel.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the man at deep square leg is a bit wasted because he's slanting the ball across Maloney, going wider and wider of the crease. Yes, there's a third man, but I'm wondering if there's a need for either a sweeper or a long off, because given the lines and lengths that Obed has bowled thus far, it's going to be very difficult for Maloney to hit the ball to deep square leg unless Obed adjusts his line.
You This one he drives. Excellent stop in the covers. Magnificent stop. Did he just miss the stumps as well? That's Ned in the action. And that was a testament to the commitment of these players so far in this game.
And the fielding could help to elevate this game into an exciting game. Stop like that, many more like that, will put pressure on the batsman.
This one, it goes again. It's Ned again, and Ned prevents the batsman from getting a run. Ned is businesslike in the field. He's patrolling the covers. That's the end of over number 1. Pretty similar to where Grenadine Divers were. They were 5 without loss. The Soufriere Hikers 4 without loss.
McCoy lost his direction in that over. He should have been closer to the stumps and on a fuller length. He was too wide and short. And if the batsman had attempted to cut him, they could very well have got many more runs in that over. But they were not getting across to the ball. They were just staying and swinging. They've got to get close to the ball if they need to play them. But he was much too short and wide. He bowled just one or two good deliveries.
Taking up the responsibility from the administrative centre end is Captain Asif Hooper. Comes to Maloney, who tucks it onto the onside. 1 to the total. Soufriere Hikers a similar start to that of the Grenadine Divers. Can this peter out into an exciting finish? Salvan Brown takes his guard. And Asif Hooper is getting ready to offer up to Brown. Salvan Brown hits it back past the bowler as straight as he possibly can. The stump bails dislodged, and Asif Hooper was in the right frame of mind. He took the ball and he pulled the stump up. A lot of the youngsters will need to learn that in today's cricket. No run scored. A little conversation between the batsmen. Tension building. Driving here pleasantly to the wide, wide extra cover area. Gets one. Fielder again doing well. That looks like Razim Brown. I believe this is going to come out a very exciting finish because the fielders for the Grenadine Divers are on their game. One more to the total. Down to long on. Romel. Here, the Grenadine Divers must be pleased so far with the start. 1 or 2 deliveries remaining, just 7 runs on the cards.
Yeah, they would be pleased, especially with how the feeling has gone thus far. They have shown a lot of commitment. People are diving around. People looking to put their bodies on the line to save that extra run. So it shows a lot of commitment and shows how much they want to qualify.
Just one more, looks like Wiley getting around, and he does good work to get it in quickly as well. 2 overs gone. It's now 8 without loss. An excellent start with the ball and in the field by the Grenadine Divers. Mikey.
There's nothing that can lift a fielding team than good fielding. And that has happened so far in the 2 overs we have seen. People are diving. And that's going to lift them, and it's going to make the batsmen frustrated, because when you drive a ball and you drive it with all the power you have, and you see a fielder diving and stopping it, then you wonder, what next can I do?
Well, the next move for the Grenadine Divers is the introduction of Kevin Abraham. He struck a massive 6 and a 4. In his 4-ball stay at the crease. Let's see what he does with the ball here now. It's been quite useful for the Grenadine Divers in their fielding stints. He offers up to Salvan Brown. Brong is hammering this one. One bounce into the wide, long off area. That's the first boundary. That's the first National Lotteries 3D4. And similar to what we saw with one of the opening batsmen for the Grenadine Divers, this is the approach Salvan Brong is going to have.
Yeah, Kevin Abraham is always going to be under the pump because two excellent first overs were bowled. They only have, they have 12 runs now. So Kevin Abraham, he really has to come good because they will be looking to take the attack to him.
Brong goes again into the mid-wicket area. They get one as the return comes in. A good return by Vale. Make it 13 the score. Maloney on 3, Brong on 8. Remarking his run now is Abraham.
I would love to see Kevin Abraham bowling from over the wicket and slanting the ball into the pads of the batter, forcing him to it on the larger side.
And this is smashed. This is hit with disdain through the covers area. That's Maloney. He is sizzling now, and he is hot as a lava that comes out of the Soufriere volcano. He pushes his team's score to 17.
Yeah, excellent shot there. So Maloney is not just willing to stand there and wait for the bad balls. He knows that his team has to get a move on, having just scored 8 in the first 2 overs. So he's willing to move around the crease and take advantage of any slightly loose deliveries that is bowled to him.
There's a change in the field. Ned went all the way onto the cover boundary, but that has been that decision was thought about again, and so he switched back into the conventional cover area. Abraham to Maloney. Aborts his run. Thought about it again. Might have been thinking about those 2 shots that were played previously, Rommel. As the psyche of the players comes into play here. Better delivery here. Not a lot of room to work with Maloney. Plays it back on the onside. Score stays on 17. Abraham again. Maloney advances and does really well inside out into the party stand. That's where we see Rommel when football is here in the party stand. But today he's in the commentary booth end and he's going to tell us about that beautiful smashing 6 by Maloney.
Yeah, that was really well executed. He gambled a little bit because I believe he left the crease just before the ball was delivered. But he noticed what line Abraham was bowling, and he played it beautifully well. He didn't try to overhit it. That was the beautiful thing about it. He just caressed it and used timing. So it was an excellent shot by Maloney.
This side trying to go in the onside. Some hesitation. Maloney could be in trouble, but eventually he gets home. Salvan Brong had called early. Maloney was on the back foot, but they eventually complete the single at 3 overs. The end of 3 overs. Soufriere Hikers 24. Maloney looking like the batsman we know. He was struggling in the earlier part of this tournament, but seemed to have found his niche, so to speak, as we go into over number. At this stage, both teams, Mikey, were at 24 without loss.
Yeah, well, a lot will depend on how the Soufriere Hikers approach the rest of the innings. I think the opposing team lost their focus in their innings. That's why they only made that low score.
Well, this is gone. This is long. Into the Mike Finley stand. Mikey, one of the seats in your stand almost possibly needs repairs because that was another smashing shot by Desron Maloney.
Good shot. He got a good ball. A good ball meaning he got a half volley. It was just in the slot, and he give it the works.
Yes, another smashing 6 there. The score moves up to 30. Maloney is on the go. Asif Hooper seemed to be distorted a bit. Lost his grip. He's now taking off that extra piece of clothing. Business time, it seems. Dusts his hands. Maloney advances. Beaten. And the keeper could not effect the dismissal. Asif is animated. The game is getting a little heated, Mormel.
Yeah, Asif is a passionate cricketer. He plays with his heart. He tries his very best. He gives 110% all the time he plays. So, of course, he was just hit for a magnificent 6 there. He would be a bit angry with the keeper for not finishing the job there. But he's the captain, so he has to show calm. He has to lead by example. So whatever energies that he put out, the players around him more than likely would adopt that same energy. The game has not yet been lost by them. There's still a long way to go. The Soufriere hikers, they have not run off by any stretch of the imagination. So there's still 60 odd to get or so.
Another good delivery. Salvan Brown is pressuring Maloney for a single, and they got. And you talked about running off. Running off there was Shembrong, and so there's a substitute fielder on for the Grenadine Divers as the Soufriere hikers move to 31. 31. Maloney has 21 from 12. Salvan Brown hammers this one into the hands of Razim, and Salvan is taken by one of his family members in a very, very, very important stage of the game. He goes. That's the breakthrough for the Grenadine Divers, Mikey.
A good breakthrough. They got a good wicket there. Brown lost his patience. He could have been a little more patient. Again, if he had stroked that ball on the ground, it would have been a single, but they always try to go over the top. I don't know why. There are times when you could pick up a single, you could pick up 2 runs if you stroke 2 runs, if you stroke the ball along the ground, but they want to go for a 6 or a 4. I just don't understand why they take that approach. But they were batting well, and they didn't seem to be bothered at all by the bowling. 1 or 2 deliveries were good, but they played them on merit. So there was no need for that sort of shot.
So Asif has gotten the success he wanted. And can the Grenadine Divers submerge the Soufriere hikers from this stage onwards? We'll look and see as Dylan Douglas joins his captain. They're looking at another 60 runs for victory. We'll see the score in a bit. As Hooper comes to Douglas. Douglas gets one that comes into him and plays it down to Brown again, who just took that catch. Diamond delivery. 1 delivery remaining in the power play. Target is 91. Douglas is getting off the mark. 1 to the total. And that's the end of the power play. 32 for 1, and now required 59 from 6 overs, Mikey.
There's no pressure to get that run, 59 from 6 overs. It's really easy going. A lot will depend on how the batsmen approach the 60. Are they going to try to get boundaries, all the runs in boundaries? Are they going to pick the gaps in the field and get 2s and 3s and singles and keep the scoreboard ticking over and rotate the strike and get the bowlers to think, because there are different batsmen they have to bowl at. That's some of the things that they've got to be thinking about. But once they keep their cool, it's not a big thing to get the remaining runs.
Jaron Wiley comes into the attack for the Grenadine Divers. He's had a pretty good stint with the Divers this edition. Started really, really well. Now he conceded 1 run in that first delivery. Comes up now to Maloney. Maloney is going long. That's gone. That's out of the area. That's over the line. That's a smashing super six. Maloney continues from where he left off in the last over. 39 for 1. Maloney powers on to 27.
Yeah, Wiley tried to slow the ball up. Nothing is wrong with that. But you have to get your lines and length correct. Yeah, and Wiley is not known to be a big turn of the deliveries. Yeah, so he really has to focus on line and length. Yes, he can slow it up, but he has to be very careful.
Better delivery here, but driven down to long off. 1 more to the total, 40. Maloney turns the strike over to Douglas. Wiley comes again. This is hammering. This is a Connery straight drive. Is it going all the way? Yes, it does. As straight as that stretch at Connery. That's a magnificent shot. And I dare say Douglas doesn't live too far from that Connery area, Romel.
That was a very well played shot by Douglas, having just entered the wicket. This is a critical stage here at the game, because the middle overs are often so very important. This is basically where games are decided, in my opinion.
Using some guile there. It's Douglas. He plays it down to the fine leg area and getting into his wicket and paddling it down, getting 2. And he is going to be innovative in his stroke play. Douglas is 46 for 1. And this is over number 5. Just 1 delivery remaining, Mikey.
They have the right approach. They're picking the right balls to hit over the boundary, and then they're picking up the singles and the twos. So their approach is quite good. They're 46 for 1, trying to get 91.
Driven into the extra cover area. Abraham trying to affect the field. Some overthrows coming. Extra runs here. Runs that they can't afford. They could ill afford to be given away. And 2 more to Douglas as the 5th over comes to an end. 47 for 1. At this stage, Soufriere Hikers could be considered to be in the driver's seat.
All of them may be in the driver's seat, but they don't always drive properly at this stage. So they still have to remember that the game isn't won as yet. You have wickets in hand, yes, and you have more than half the score. But at the same time, if you do anything stupid, if you make too many errors, you can lose that momentum. So they've got to remain here. They seem to be going for a good partnership, and quite often we have seen in this tournament, when that happens, sooner or later somebody plays a rash shot and gets out, and that throws the whole thing into chaos.
Well, some pace on the ball as Braxy Brown, who normally bowls at the death for the Grenadines divers. He is now being employed, and he's wearing a pair of shoes as bright as the sunshine that's blazing down on the Arnos playing field right now. Let's, for his team's sake, that his performance could be bright as well. At this stage, the Grenadine divers were 37 for 2, Romel. And that's smashed away. It's in the air, but the net cannot hold on to that one. It goes the distance. Another smashing 6 by Maloney. He is pouring on as he has been doing for the innings so far. 34, he is the score. 54 for 1.
That was an exceptionally good shot there by Maloney. I think he's peaking at the right time. Early on in the tournament, he was struggling for timing, struggling for runs on a whole. He's coming through nicely. 34 of 15. He's striking it in a lovely way. So I think as a captain as well too, you'd want to motivate your players by leading from the front, and he's doing so magnificently well.
Braxy Brown, let's see what he changes here to Maloney. Well, he changed the line and went outside the off stump, but just too far. And umpire Maria Abbott signals a wide. 1 more to the total, 55 for 1. Sensible cricket from here should take it home for the Soufriere Hikers. Excellent Yorker line delivery there. Excellent Yorker by I make it Braxy Brown. This is what he was known for in edition 1, and we've seen a few of those in this edition, and that was a good delivery, but still a run conceded, Romel.
Yeah, I'm looking around at the players, the heads of the players of the Grenadine Divers. They have dropped. It seems they have lost all motivation, but they need not to get at that stage because anything can happen. It's just one good over.
Well, I'm not sure whether they're going to get that one good over because Maloney is on song. That's a magnificent strike. Long over, long on. It is now Douglas it is, and let's get that corrected. Dylan Douglas has joined his captain, and you can see Asif going all about the place over there to try and retrieve, but that was a magnificent stroke, Mikey.
It was a great stroke. It was hit just wide of long on, and although it was in the slot, he kept his shape and struck it well. It was like an elevated on drive. It went a long distance. In fact, they've got to change. They've got the ball back. Thought they had to change the ball. They thought they had lost the ball, but they've got the ball back. So they are well on their way. 62 for 1, chasing 91. They need 29 from 27 balls, and that's a stroll in the park.
Fantastic shot there. Definitely really good batting by Douglas and Maloney in this partnership that, Mikey, you've been asking for. Partnerships like these all through the edition.
Yes, they still got some way to go, so they should get through without losing a wicket if they continue batting like this. That's what they should do. That's what they should aim for.
Douglas is heaving this one into the cow corner area. It's going to fall safely. Ned gets it in now. Good throw again, and good piece of work to restrict the batsman to 1. 63 for 1, Mikey.
Yes, but that should have been 2 runs. They were slow in picking up the second, because it dropped in between the fielders, and they had to make some distance before they gathered the ball, so they should have turned quickly and gone for a second.
Slower delivery, and we could see Braxy actually thinking here and beating Maloney outside the off stump. Excellent comeback there after being heaved away for a 6 and then into the mid-wicket area.
He bowled a good slower one outside the off stump, and it looked like it dipped into the batsman.
Wrong to Maloney again. Beaten outside the off stump. This time he's not moving his legs. This time he was beaten for pace as well, and that's the end of the over. Braxy Brown ending well, but it's still just 28 needed from 24.
Not that he was so beaten, he missed. He went for a cut shot and missed because he's not moving. He's not moving towards the ball. He's standing in one position and throwing the bat at the ball. And if he moved, he can probably tickle it down to backward of point and get a couple of runs.
Romel, the trump card possibly being brought back into attack. Obed McCoy, as they attempt to dislodge this pair and see how far they can cause some concern in the camp of the Soufriere hikers.
Well, they have no choice, really, in my opinion. Obed McCoy bowled a decent first over, only conceded, I think, 4 runs. He is, after all, the West Indies pacer. They need wickets, so the wickets are the only things that would slow down the scoring rate and slow down the Soufriere hikers. They have 9 of them in hand, so it's going to be an uphill task for the Grenadine Divers, but anything is possible.
Driven well, down to long off. One more to Douglas, and it's 64 for 1, 26 from 24.
Well, that was a no ball. Obed, the first delivery, Obed has bowled a no ball. So the Soufriere hikers, they've added 1 more to the total and has gained a free hit. without a legal ball being bowled.
All right, well, adding salt to the wounds. Let's see what Maloney does with this free hit. How does Obed execute? And it's Maloney who gets the better of it. Over, long on. That's another smashing six. Maloney is definitely feeling the middle of the bat here. He moves to 41, 71 for one. And we are in over number 7, Mikey.
It's good to see the batsman taking full advantage of the free hit. You know, quite often you have a free hit, you can't get out, and the batsman do something untoward and get one or two. But this one went all the way. This was a good hit. Picked it up very well.
Obed McCoy changing his angle of attack. He is shifting around his fielders as well. They need a wicket here, the Grenadine Divers. Definitely need a wicket or two to try to peg the Soufriere Hikers back, who are well on their way. One is going to be called wide outside the off stump. Obed doesn't seem to be happy, but Graves is in control. 72 for 1. Remember, at this stage, the batsmen need just to continue playing sensibly.
Yeah, the Soufriere Hikers, they're really in the ascendancy here. It's going to be very difficult for the Grenadine Divers to pull this game out of the bag. You know, they have 2 set batsmen. They don't need to take any big risk. More balls and runs required.
Guided down to the cover boundary there by Maloney. He moves on to 42, 73 the score. And Tanti Merle will have to have some serious cakes and patties and that kind of stuff in the bag for Grenadine Divers for them to come away with a win here, because Soufriere Hikers are definitely in charge and large. Another wide by McCoy. Well, no ball called by umpire Graves. McCoy is struggling. He looks up to the heavens. I don't think Tati Moore is up that high. She's probably in the Mike Finley Pavilion, Mikey. He's begging for some help here, McCoy.
Yeah, the Grenadine Divers, they're falling apart. They are falling apart badly, and I think the players, they have sensed it. The mood is down. No one is clapping. No one is urging each other on. Obed is frustrated. Things are not going the way he had planned them to go. You know, that's the nature of cricket.
Heaving this one. He's going to be... No, he's dropped it. Oh, that's a bad miss by Ned, is it? Kaden Ned, who has been superb in the field up to this point. He had what is normally for him, should have been a dolly, and it went for a 6, a super smashing 6. And Maloney nails his 50. He's on 48, and the Soufriere Hikers on 80. And I believe the chances of the Grenadine Divers may have gone with that catch, Mikey.
Well, I won't say that. I think that they're still, even though that's only that have been only 2 wickets, and they have 11 runs to make, and they have had 8 wickets in hand. I don't think that would have made a difference at all to the proceedings here. I think the Soufriere Hikers have lost their momentum. They've lost their focus. They started off very well. The feeling was fantastic when they started off, and they put some pressure on the Grenadine, on the Darkview Grenadines Divers in the beginning there. But they lost that. They've lost everything now there.
Yes, as one more single was completed there. They're now 10 runs adrift of that spot in the eliminator. Rommel and Mikey and Obed was brought back to do some damage, to try to what we say, take take defeat out of the jaws of victory that definitely La Soufriere Hikers were eyeing, but he has not really come up chumps. He comes up again, this time to Maloney. Not a wide delivery. The plot has been lost, as you said.
Well,
Mikey.
in fairness to McCoy, he was quite rightly brought back at maybe over too late, but he was brought back. That's the important thing. Except that his rhythm had gone haywire. He tried to bowl too fast. His line and length went awry. He bowled too far outside the off stump and didn't get the right line that he wanted. And then he saw this catch dropped off him, and you could see his shoulders dropped totally.
Asif still with the energy in the field as he tries to lead his team. He came down and had a shove at the shoulders of McCoy. And there we go. That's the end of over number 7. Still just 9 needed from 18 deliveries.
Easy win it's going to be for La Soufriere Hikers. Even though they lose these 2 batsmen, they've still got batsmen to come to get the 11 runs from 18 balls. It's no problem at all. I don't know if there's anybody capable on the team to pick up the remaining 9 wickets for less than the 9 runs. Rommel, you think so?
highly unlikely.
Highly
unlikely.
No, not possible at all.
Yeah, it is rather disappointing for the Grenadine divers. But this is what I spoke about in the middle overs. The way the La Soufriere Hikers batted throughout the middle overs, when you look at the statistics, on the 5th over they got 15 runs, 6th over 16, and the last over the 7th over they got 19. So they were able to build momentum, and they kept doing that.
This is Tyrone Theofield coming in for his first taste of the bowling stint for the Grenadine Divers. A run conceded, and they move up to 83 for 1. That's the La Soufriere Hikers. Maloney is on 42, and I believe that 6 was credited to Douglas, who is on 26. And this is Maloney smashing back. Oh my word, that's a tremendous shot again. Maloney is really looking at the part. And that was a tremendous shot off the back foot, past the long off fielder for a smashing 6, Mikey.
A good 6 off the back foot straight. 2 straight for the wide mid-off.
And he ends it. Is it going into the Mike Finley stand? Mikey, that's a second seat you'll have to have your people repair, because this is Maloney, who has smashed his way to the eliminator spot with his team. He ends with 54 and 95 for 1 in 7.5 overs. Excellent batting by the La Soufriere Hikers.
And that emphasizes the value of batting in pairs. These two, I think they had one or 2 chances, but not very many. They batted very well. They kept their head, and they did what they needed to do for their team. It was a good victory, 95 for 1, and they had absolutely no trouble. The Grenadines divers put some pressure on them only in terms of their fielding and their restriction of the score in the first few overs. But along the way, when the batsmen, when La Soufriere Hikers batsmen started to bat well and settle down, they crumbled in their fielding. And Maloney got 54 not out of 23 deliveries, and Douglas got 26 or 14 deliveries. The only man out was 8 or 10. So victory for La Soufriere Hikers. Everything that they planned in the dressing room, and it paid handsome dividends for them.
Yes, Romel. Sorry, Mikey. All right. Yes, Romel. We can go through the bowling of the Grenadine divers because Mikey has. What did we see from the Grenadine divers bowlers?
They didn't have too bad of a two runs. Yeah, they got the wicket of Brown. They could have had the wicket of Maloney, who went on to be the match winner for the Soufriere Hikers. So they were a bit unfortunate there, and you know what wickets can do in any game. It slows down it would slow down the run rate, and it can cause panic. But by and large, I think all the bowlers who bowled outside of Hooper, they were taken to the cleaners, really, and it's not so much their fault, but rather the batting capability of Maloney and Douglas. They batted extremely well. They were able to execute. They didn't try to overhit it. So they had confidence in the way they played. So it was just a clinical finish by Soufriere Hikers, and the Dark View Explorers, they would have seen this display by the Soufriere Hikers. So they should be feeling a bit worried, especially given the fact that they have lost momentum. They had the Dark View Explorers I'm talking about. They came into their match having won 3 consecutive games, and to have lost so badly this morning, they should be concerned, especially after seeing what the Soufriere Hikers has done so far. So it will be interesting. It's interesting game on Friday, knockout stage. But this is T10 cricket. It can go either way. 1-2 wickets, one go over, and things can go in your favor. So it's up in the air.
Another 20-30 runs by Soufriere Hikers, but they fell short. They fell way short of the 140 that your friend anticipated, Romel, and that is what cost them the match. It would have been a much tighter game if they had gone on to 120, 125 even, and that would have been a much tighter game.
Well, that's where we end the preliminary round. We the rest day, the business end of things gets on the way on Friday. At 10:30 a.m., we will have the Saw Pond Breakers coming up against the Botanical Garden Rangers in the qualifier for Sunday. Then at 1 p.m. on Friday, we have the Dark View Explorers playing the Soufriere Hikers in the Eliminator 1. Now, the winner of that game will play the loser of the qualifier, which would have been played earlier on Friday. That's where we are in the VPL Premier Vincy Premier League, that is, VPL, the Vincy Premier League 2.0, T10 cricket, coming to you live from the Arnos Vale Sports Complex and here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the natural place to be, the gem of the Antilles. More flavor, more vibes, and we brought to you today's action. And action since the 22nd of November, we've been bringing you action with the kind compliments of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Cricket Association, Inc., and our super special partners in Dream 11, National Lotteries, Fan Code, Sportsmax Visitory, and of course our friends from ITFX SVG. Remember, tomorrow is a rest day. Get your stocks sorted because the weekend is going to be big. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We are out. See you on Friday.
Few explorers, the Grenadines divers, 4 Charlotte strikers. Somebody celebrate your team. Soufriere Hikers, the South Pond Breakers, Botanical Garden Rangers. It's from the bleachers we will see. VPL is more people.